Hey everybody, today I'm going to walk you through how to get started with Codex and specifically how to use the annotation feature inside of Codex to mark up and make changes inside of your whatever interaction that you're actually building. So let's go ahead and dive in here. If you head on over to vibedojo.ninja, here you can actually link my prompts tool. We're going to get just a simple prompt, and I have a fun little surprise me option as well. I was bored, and so I'm like, okay, what if I don't want to choose from all the different prompts? Surprise me and give me a prompt to work with. So I'm going to click on surprise me, and we have a flashcard that pops up, and then we have the knowledge check quiz. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and just click on copy for that. And so let's just say something of standards of conduct is going to be our topic. So let's click on copy from there. I have a lot of other prompts that you can check out if you want to go ahead and just breeze through that. It's a free account. You can just copy any of them. You can create your own, store your own as well. All right, so let's go ahead and go into ChatGPT. And I am currently working on my course, how to create custom e-learning, everything from A to Z to create a full e-learning course inside of ChatGPT that you can check out as well. So this is what you're seeing right here. We have a menu on the left-hand side. We have resources as well. So if you want to check out that, I just released it in early bird status. So you can go ahead and check that out in the link below. But let's start a new chat here, and we're going to start a new project. Now, when you're working with Codex, you're going to be working with files on your desktop. This is important because this is different than just using the chat. Because if you're using the chat, it'll give you HTML that you can just copy and you can paste it inside of Rise or anything like that. But we're going to build a self-standing file that we can actually work with and annotate right inside of here as well. Now, I haven't checked to see if you can do the annotation with just a single HTML file. And in fact, I may do that as well. And I'm going to start a new chat. And let's still work within a project. So I'll click on here, and then we're going to go into a new project. And this is going to be our quiz interaction. Okay, now this is where we can add folders. I have not actually created a folder on my desktop yet. So let's create a folder. And this will be, let's just go ahead and name it as something like quiz here. Now I'm going to go back into ChatGPT. And I'm going to go ahead and add that folder. So let's go into my desktop, add it right there, and there we go. Now I'm going to just click on create project, and now all of the files, if we work inside of those files, will be inside of that folder. And this is just by enabling work. So I'm not just in chat, I'm in work. So any files that I create are there, so I can go back to it. And I can also have ChatGPT create files like images and other things like that inside of that folder. So that's one of the benefits why you'd want to use work compared to chat, is because then you have those files right there. You don't have to go searching for your chat to be able to find those files. All right, so let's go ahead and just paste in our prompt here. Create a 10-question multiple choice HTML quiz on standards of conduct. Each question presents 4 answer choices. Show instant right or wrong feedback with an explanation on each answer. Track the learner score throughout the display. And I want to add something about make this vibrant and modern, just for a design, which I can go ahead and I can add more to that. Right now, it's going to stick with the Soul, which is the latest right here. I can adjust the level of effort, but because this is the initial prompt, usually I like to keep it on high. So it does a really good job, takes a little bit more time on building that interaction. So I'm going to keep it like that for now. And that's something like if you're doing small tasks, you don't need that level of effort of high every single time, because the high effort is going to take more of your credits. So that's something where you'd want to dial it back a little bit and just do like a medium. If it's something that's repetitive, that doesn't take a lot of effort, then you don't need to do the high. So that's just something to keep in mind, whether you're using ChatGPT, whether you're using Claude, or any model essentially. So let's go ahead and give it a second and wait for this to create our initial interaction. And I'm going to check to see if it has the annotation. If it doesn't have the annotation, we're going to go back into Codex and we're going to create the same type of experience, but inside of Codex that then gives us these additional tools. So let's go ahead and wait for that. So I'm going to minimize this window over here just by clicking on this little icon up on top, which I can always come back to later just by hovering over it. You can see that my browser has opened up, which is great. It automatically is opening the browser, and I can start to see this. Once it's done creating, I can see it and interact with it right there, which it does tell me that it does have the annotation tool that I really want to focus on inside of here. So we're good so far. And it's going to be creating this file. Let me go ahead and minimize all this real quick. And it should be creating this file inside of the quiz. Now it's creating a lot of files, probably more than I need. So that is one thing to keep in mind, is it's going to create a bunch of different output if you don't tell it that it's just going to be a single HTML file. So I probably should have gone back and told it, even though I said HTML file, it creates additional stuff once I'm in the work. And that's okay, because this could also offer a lot more flexibility. It offers a lot more like, okay, it separates out the HTML and the CSS. It allows you to bring in images, which just the chat feature does not. That's where it limits you a little bit more. So this is good, but we can kind of direct this a little bit. And I cover this more in my course if you want to check that out. Okay, so we have our vibrant and modern standards of conduct quiz here. So you can see we have a progress bar up on top. We have our different choice questions. If I hover over it, you can see it expands out a little bit. We can see our score up on top here. And it does look vibrant and modern. So, I mean, we're at a good point here. So let's go ahead and start answering some of the questions. A supplier offers you 2 courtside tickets after you approve a large contract. What should you do? Accept them, accept 1 ticket, decline and report the offer according to the gift's policy. Ask the supplier to send the ticket to your home address. So let's go ahead and do that, and we get the question correct, so we see our score up on top, and let's go ahead and hit next question. It's a basic question, so there's really not a lot to it, but this is where I can customize it. This is where I can go in and add maybe like some sound effects. This is where I can add different images. This is where I can add some gamification to it, where I have like a overall like money dropping from the sky or something like that. So it's a basic interaction, but it is something that at least gives us a good start. Now let's go ahead and go through some of the other questions, which I'm going to answer quickly. Some of them I will get right, some of them I will get wrong, and hopefully it gives me like an overall score at the end here. And I think it looped me. Let's try this one more time. Yeah, it did loop me. So this is something where I'd have to iterate. It's not perfect when you initially create it. So this is where you always go back in and you iterate. And you go back and forth and you basically just say, okay, well, this is working. I want to change this. Well, this is not working. Let's go ahead and change this. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just go ahead and hit the microphone key. I want you to not allow me to loop the quiz question. So when I'm at the end of the quiz question, it should show like a final results. And there should be a retake button, but that retake button will just reset the score and take me back to the beginning. But I want it to be obvious that I'm going back to the beginning. That allows you to voice dictate, and it will change it into text here, and you can go ahead and hit submit. So now we're going to make that change here. And once we make that change, we can then publish out the files. But one thing when you're working inside of Codex or you're working inside of work here is you don't want to like submit all of these files. You want to have a publish file. So just like in Storyline, when you've created an interaction, you want it to publish out, because all of these files, if I go ahead and just select all of these, you can see that it's like 19 different files. But let's just click on right click here and go to get info. This is about 714 megabytes, which is pretty large for just a quiz question. So we want to publish it out and have a version that we can go ahead and we can upload to like a Rise package or put it inside a Storyline or something like that. Or we can actually just use, if you want to check out some of my different SCORM drivers, you can use that just to wrap it up and send it as, wrap it up just as a SCORM package, upload it to your LMS just as the single interaction here. So there's a lot of possibility there. Okay, so it says that it's updated the live preview with the final results. So let's go ahead and just go through this real quick, which I am going to get most of them incorrect here. And you can see right here, incorrect. And I don't think I went through all 10. Oh, I think it loops me back into like the previous question. So I may want to hit restart here. Let me go through, and I am getting some of these correct now. Okay, so now it does allow me to go through and see all of my different quiz questions. Right here, retake from question 1. So it'll take me back to question 1 here. This is where I can then go in and I could SCORM wrap it. Or I can CMI5 wrap it as well. If you want to check out those videos, go ahead and check out those videos as well. But this is where I want to get into the annotation stuff. So the annotation stuff now allows us to be a little bit more nitpicky. We have the iteration that we want, but let's go ahead and just go back and forth on some things. And if you go into the annotation option up here and you click on annotate, now you can start selecting and marking things as fix this, fix that, change this, move this. And that's the kind of thing that you can do. And there's a couple different ways to be able to annotate. So I can select an item, and as you start to scroll down here, you can see that you can select an overall item, or you can select an individual item. So if I just want to talk about the icon here, then I can just select the icon here. If I just want to talk about the background, I can talk about the background here. And so I'm going to select that to begin with, and then I can add a comment. let's make the overall color more of a light blue. So I want to have that here, and then I'm going to click check, which is not going to actually send it yet. It's going to add it, and I can see down at the bottom there's one added annotation. So this is where I can go through all of the different things that I want to change visually and select each item that I want to change. But you can also, if there's not an item that you can select, you can just click and drag out an area too. So I can click and drag out this area. Let's come in here and say this area. So you can drag out that area and then annotate here and say, I want the title to be more bold, which in this case, I could have just selected this text, but let's just leave it at that for now and just click there, and it adds it to our annotation. So now we have 2 annotations here. So let's come in here and change this color here. And what you can do as well, if you see this gear icon, if you click on that gear icon, this does allow you to change some things. You can change the opacity. You can change the font, you can change the background color, you can change the font size, you can change the border radius, and you can change the width, the height, and stuff like that. So if I come in here and I adjust this to be something like, let's do like 400, see how it adjusts the circles. So visually I can go in and tweak a couple different things. That does not look great, so I'm gonna hit Control Z to go back until we get back to let me just enter it in here, 220. So this allows you to visually go in and tweak some things just like you would with Storyline or like Captivate or any other tool like that. So you can now visually go in and tweak different things and tell it, even if you don't know what properties to actually change, tell it what you want to change and it will change it for you. So once you have done all of those changes, what you can do is come up to the top, or you can add some additional comments down below here, and you can just come in and click on send. There's one other thing that you can do is if you want to take a full screenshot, you can click on this full screenshot, and that will take a screenshot that copies it to the clipboard that you can then come down into your chat and just hit Control V, and that will also add it to your annotations, which right now I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it as the regular annotations and then click enter. You can do this as much as you want, but this is just a nice feature that you can use when you're working inside of Work or you're working inside of Codex. Again, I haven't tried it just with a single HTML with chat yet, but let's go ahead and see what changes are made. And then at this point, I want to show you how to publish it, then upload it or make it SCORM compatible. So let's go ahead and wait for this to finish here. This is where I see things just getting easier. So they're going to introduce other kind of features, other ways to visually update things. So we don't have to know all of the different language, like the syntax of like CSS, of like, okay, drop shadows and border radiuses and other things. It still is helpful to know that. And that's what I cover inside of my course, are those fundamentals so that you can be a better director. The goal and kind of our new role in this whole AI world is to direct the AI to create the experiences and the learning that you want. That is really the mind shift in my opinion. Okay, so now we see more of this blue background, which I think is looking great. It's still not quite done yet, but you can see as it's working some of the things that it's doing. And then at the end, it will give you kind of this full overview of what's happened here. So overall palette shift to brighter light blue. Cards and results are now a subtle blue tint as well. So it took the initiative to also change this to kind of match the background here. And I think it looks great. So now we have more of this blue kind of color here, which if you like purple, nothing against purple. My wife's favorite color is purple here. This is just something that we can go back and forth with, and we can iterate and we can annotate different things. And I wanted to show you that because it's a fairly new tool to be able to do it one by one and to add it. I don't know exactly when it got added, but it's a fairly new tool. And inside of the course, it allows us to go in and just fine tune our overall player. I almost forgot to talk about actually publishing this out. So let's do one more prompt here. Publish this out to just a standalone HTML interaction, CSS and JavaScript, so I can upload it to a website. Just as simple as that, we'll give you the HTML files. And then also let's just add, and tell me where the published location is, just so it tells us exactly where that published location is. So let's go ahead and wait for this to finish here. Okay, so it says, I'll package the quiz with the dependency-free folder, HTML, style, CSS, and JavaScript, plus a zip that you can directly upload directly. So it's using the site's workflow online to preserve the existing design, validations, and so forth, which that is something that we'll probably talk about in the future. There is a new sites feature that allows you to publish directly to a URL that you can send out to people. But I want it to be the files that I can then publish to an LMS eventually if I wanted to SCORM wrap it. Okay, so it says it's done. Standards of conduct quiz. And so you can see I can open it up in Safari as well. Right here, it tells me the path. So it's right here, desktop quiz standalone. So let's go in here. And so you can see quiz, and then we have standalone quiz right there. So we have our HTML, JavaScript file, and CSS. If I just double click on that, it should preview it up right there. And this will be now my publish area, which I can then tell it to like SCORM wrap it, CMI5 wrap it. Again, check out those videos. That tells you how to do that. But this makes it so we have just this one folder, which is now only 29 kilobytes instead of the 700 megabytes. So it's a lot less. That's what I then take and I host somewhere else. So even though it's creating all of these extra files, you don't need all those extra files. Just make sure at the very end you say publish this to a folder with only the necessary files that I need to be able to host it wherever you need to. If you want to check out more, head on over to our website at vibedojo.ninja. Here you can check out the apps that I'm talking about. You can also check out previous blog posts. You can check out full courses, creating custom e-learning with Claude Code, but also, and by the time this video releases, you'll also see the creating custom courses with the ChatGPT, or you can also check that out by going to Learning Dojo. I'll leave both links there down below. You can also check out free downloads and other things right there. If you like this video, head on over to our YouTube channel, click the like button, subscribe to our channel, as well as hit the bell notification so you get notified of all future videos as they come out. That really helps our channel, allows us to continue to create more videos like this to really help you take advantage of vibe coding and creating these custom learning experiences. That's all I have for today, so thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.
I'll solve it, spit one prompt and the whole squad evolves quick. Vibe code, baby, watch what we code. Type one line and I'm switching your mode.